so worried about Dr. Gallagher's final. Like, I have no idea what's gonna be on it.
Yeah, honestly, I hate that I waited until last minute to start studying. There's so many readings, and I'm gonna kind of have to start from scratch. So
Yeah, well, you know what? Actually, there's a documentary that follows like two candidates, like on their way to Congress. So maybe that will have some like things on descriptive and substantive representation that we can think about and maybe like talk more about, so we can get started for studying.
yeah, that sounds really interesting.
Yeah, let's watch it.
Sounds great.
This is Jasmine. She is currently running for a position in the House of Representatives in her diverse and multicultural district. Jasmine has a bachelor's degree in economics and master's in public administration and is currently a JD candidate at Georgia State University School of Law. She will be the first person in her family to run for the position in office, and Jasmine is very involved with her local community and is well received by the public. And honestly, maybe even spends a little bit too much time daydreaming about Congress. This is Heather. She is also running for a position in the House of Representatives in her very homogeneous district. She has a bachelor's degree in political science and is highly considering going back to school for a master's degree. Heather has experience working on her county's board of legislators with a few members of her family. Honestly, Madison wants to pursue politics because everyone around her is actively involved with elections, campaigns, and is overall conscious about politics. Pause the film.
From the looks of it, it looks like Jasmine's a far more qualified candidate than Heather.
Actually, not quite. There are many barriers for women of color that require them to work twice as hard to be considered half as good. And it's particularly harder for women of color because of the multifaceted factors and intersectional struggles they experience in order to be considered even eligible to run for a candidacy in Congress. For Jasmine, she has to experience being both a woman and a minority in a marginalized group. Most literature talks about how ethnic minorities are women and minority, as I said, being two separate marginalized identities, but these identities can be assumed to be mutually independent. Her race, gender, and socioeconomic status can present different barriers in her progression through candidacy.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. It's certainly very important for scholars to use an intersectional lens when discussing these challenges. And this intersectional perspective helps us understand how all these overlapping identities create different obstacles for different women in the candidacy process. Maybe let's unpack what all this means.
Intersectionality can be simply defined as how our overlapping identities shape our different experiences. Race, gender, class, sexuality, education, ethnicity, language, age, and ability all play key roles in intersectionality.
Wow, those are actually all barriers that minority women face as candidates. Let's keep watching to see how intersectionality continues to play a role as Jasmine and Heather run for Congress.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, hey!
How are you? How's law school?
Law school's really good.
Yeah.
Just keeping myself busy. I actually meant to tell you, I'm running for Congress.
Congress? Wait, we really don't see too many women running for Congress, let alone ethnic minority women running for Congress. So why are you doing this, and like how exactly do you plan to go about this?
Well, see, that's exactly the point. There aren't enough ethnic minority women running for Congress, and I want to be able to represent the values and concerns of my community and district.
Well, I don't know exactly how you're going to campaign or gain the voters for that, but good luck.
You know, I really hope that I can do this and that I can get the support from my district. So thanks, I guess.
Concerned.
Hey Dad, I wanted to talk to you about something kind of serious. I want to run for Congress. Well, I just wanted to talk to you because I know that politics is a family business and you've run before, so I wanted to see what you had to say about it. I just think that it's time to start my career, and I know that I'd be a good fit for the position in the district. Dad, hold off before getting me a campaign manager. You can't fund this whole thing, but let's talk about it because I'm really excited.
All of that is so interesting. Jasmine had very little support from her friend just because there aren't as many black women in Congress. Representation is extremely important in politics, and that's something that Jasmine is certainly pushing for as a minority woman herself.
Yeah, and it's actually very common for Black women and minority women to run for Congress and other political positions because they want to see themselves being represented. And Black women and minority women overall have way fewer people to look up to in politics and any leadership positions. And currently, of the 108 women in Congress, there are only 38 minority women from different ethnicities and backgrounds. And those 38 women comprise only 7% of Congress. This plays a huge role in how women and minority women feel eligible to run for Congress or even have a role in politics. Having others that look like you and share similar experiences as you encourages one to run for positions in office.
I could definitely see that. The election of women of color would take on a symbolic effect through role modeling. By disrupting societal expectations that ethnic minority politicians are men and that female politicians are white, election of women of color contributes to the overall status of minority office holders and female office holders, and thus aids in the breaking down of racial and gender barriers in electoral politics.
Yeah, let's keep watching.
Yeah. All right, hello and welcome to the 2018 Women in World Politics Candidate Roundtable. Today we have two congressional candidates from very different districts. Jasmine, at the end, is running in the diverse and populous Atlanta area in the 5th District, and Heather is running in the small, predominantly white district, District 3. Both of these women are very qualified, and today we'll see what they have to offer as your future congresswomen. So Jasmine, would you like to start by talking about your experience? Has it been easier without a primary challenger?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think this race is definitely still important, and there's surely still a lot at stake here.
Of course, yes. Moving right along, Heather, what policy issues are most important to you in this race?
Well, the most important policy issues in my district are education, healthcare, and government-funded daycare. Government-funded daycare is of particular interest to women who are looking to have a better work-life balance and build careers out in the community.
Awesome. And Jasmine, what about you? Are there any issues that are currently most pressing to you?
Yeah, I mean, as a woman of color, I'd definitely like to see more representation and on issues that matter to marginalized communities. You know, other representatives don't really represent these issues, and as a woman of color, I feel like there's a growing number, or I know that there's a growing number of studies that show that officials who are women of color have distinctive policy impacts because of the different experiences they can bring to the table.
Definitely. Just to wrap up, what was the thought process behind the lipstick choice today, Jasmine?
Would you ask a man that?
All right, well that concludes our segment. Thank you guys for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.
So far, it looks like Jasmine is having a way harder time gaining voter confidence and especially support from the people around her and the media overall. Both Jasmine and Heather are scrutinized on the basis of their appearances, but Jasmine is definitely receiving harsher criticisms. It's extremely inappropriate for the commentator to continuously make comments about their appearances. I also noticed that Jasmine focuses more on hard-hitting social issues, and in pushing social movements like Black Lives Matter and Me Too, she's bringing these issues into the local political sphere. These weren't necessarily political issues until social movements made them into political issues. This all goes back to how the personal is political. It's hard for candidates and elected officials to represent these issues if they are not personally affected by them.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting though how outside of media framing, they're both women, but they're focusing on completely different policy issues affecting them. It really makes you think, which women? Ethnic minority women and women of color will focus on things more pressing to them. The differences between the issues they represent emphasize how it's hard to comprehensively represent all women. The different experiences of women, therefore, shape their policies. So let's keep watching.
Yeah.
Please welcome to Congress our two newest members.